like you're feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright, echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Great to be back on at an earlier time tonight. It's good timing because we're actually out of court until sometime closer to 2:30. So it's a good gap in proceedings today. That trial, the Jody Hill trial, is coming to an end. We've been through the prosecution closing. We've been through the defense closing that finished this morning. These have been a lot quicker than Aaron's. Aaron's took multiple days for each party. This one has gone really fast. It's been like an hour and a half or something per person. So it's gone very quickly. Oh, actually, we haven't finished with the defense. They've got a little bit more to go. Sorry, I don't know why I thought they'd finished, but no, they've got a little bit more to go after lunch. And then the Justice Dixon will give her closing directions or charge to the jury, and then they'll head out to deliberate. So we are really in the final stages of that particular trial. And like I keep telling you, as soon as we get a verdict, I will tell you all about it. It is one of the more in-depth cases I think I've done this year. So you'll get a lot of details as soon as we're done. I'm currently building my evidence list in the hope that Justice Dixon will allow me to have that evidence. So I should be able to hopefully bring it to you, but I have to make an application to the judge. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey guys, good to see you there. Good to see you. Marylander said, is this trial more interesting than Aaron's trial? I don't know if that's necessarily the way I would put it. I would just say they're different. They're very different types of trials. Like this one is has like a murder scene. It has like, forensics and things like that. While Aaron's did as well, it didn't have a murder scene. Like we didn't have like a crime scene type of thing. We just had sort of circumstantial evidence that pointed to sort of one thing or the other. This one's very different. It's more like a traditional crime trial or like a murder trial. And it's it's got where a victim is and the things around him, who touched him, where the DNA's come from, all that type of thing. So I would just say they're very different types of trials. Aaron's was more what happened surrounding that lunch, surrounding that lunch at her home, and what led up to it and things like that. This one's more about like very small parts of time, like you're talking minutes, like what happened when this person was there, and then obviously the victim was attacked allegedly, and things like that. So just say they're very different, not more or less interesting than each other, just different in the way it's presented to the jury. So it definitely seems like that one's coming to an end. I expect by tomorrow afternoon they should be possibly into deliberations or something like that. I don't know how long Justice Dixon might take. Could be a day, could be a couple of days. It just depends. So we'll see. And then I get to tell you all about it, which I'm very excited about. I think it's nice to be able to bring crimes and stories from Victoria to all of you. All right, but not in Victoria, in Seminole County in Florida. Now, this particular case, Donovan Faison and Kaylin, it was his girlfriend at the time. Very sad story. Donovan's 23, and he was found guilty of first-degree murder, killing an unborn child, and burglary in connection to the death of 18, very young, Kaylin. The really sad thing about this one is Kaylin was pregnant at the time of her death, and she had met up with Donovan to show him an ultrasound. Showed up to show him an ultrasound of the child they had conceived together. Here's a photo from the evidence of that trial, of that little baby. And what did he do? Well, he had been trying to force Kaylin to give up the child, is the nicest way I can put it. He wanted her to have the A word, the A word that we all know that we can't see on YouTube because apparently we're not all adults or something. Yes, that A word. He wanted her to have one of those. She was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I would like to keep the child. And his solution to all of this was, well, if you're not going to do that, I'm going to murder you. So that's what he did. He killed her in cold blood, shot and killed her during this supposed to be a meetup. And this was the ultrasound they found at the scene of the crime. And but I have some good news. It's not all bad news. While Kaylin and her unborn son are no longer with us, I can tell you that there is a very small ray of hope. A very small ray of hope. Donovan, found guilty last month in a court, was sentenced. He has been sentenced to death. He has been sentenced to go on to death row and await his sentence. That is very good news. It's nice to finally see proper justice handed out to people who hurt women. And I feel like sometimes reading you stories out of Australia that I sometimes wish we had it as well, because it feels like none of these men seem to ever learn. And they just think, oh, I can beat my girlfriend up and kill her or whatever. I'm going to get like 5 years in jail and I'm going to be back out before I'm 40. And that has happened many times. So, really good news. Sentenced to death for killing his pregnant girlfriend and their unborn son after she decided not to terminate the pregnancy. So, yeah, 23. He's 23. She was 18. I'm going to take you to WKMG Orlando, and they're going to tell you a little bit about what happened at the trial. This is when the sentence verdict came back. All right.
Donovan Faison was found guilty on all counts.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder.
An overwhelming moment of relief for Kaylin Fiango's loved ones as the jury's verdict was announced.
We've been waiting a long time for this.
An emotional end, almost 3 years since Fiango was found shot and killed in Sanford's Coastline Park. Investigators say Donovan Faison murdered her because she refused to terminate her pregnancy.
Were you supposed to meet up with her? No, I wasn't supposed to meet up with her. I was supposed to do nothing with her. We didn't have no conversation of meeting up, nothing.
During closing arguments Monday, prosecutors played body camera video of Faison's first interview with detectives.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. You can read it line after line.
And presented months of messages, including this exchange where they say Fiango told Faison she was pregnant and his response was abortion. Faison's attorneys poked holes in the police investigation and argued he may have made mistakes, but he is not a murderer.
But at best, you have evidence of a man that's cheating, of a man that possibly didn't want to have another child. There's no evidence of him being in the car. There's no evidence of him coming around the front. There's no evidence of her reaching for a purse. There's no evidence of him pulling the trigger.
Prosecutors
Evidence that he didn't want another child. Really? Really? I don't see that evidence. Where's the condoms? How hard is it? Humanity has had them for many, many, many decades and probably a millennia by now. Maybe even longer than that. So much for I don't want another child. There are steps you can take to reduce the likelihood that'll happen. I don't know how we have to drum this through people's head, but she says, defense attorney says he didn't want another child. I don't know. His actions don't make it seem that way. It seems like he was willing to play the game, but not get the prize at the end. And when the prize did appear in the way of a pregnancy test, he decided to tell her and just demand her to get rid of that child. And then when that didn't work, he was like, well, I'm just going to kill her. It is ridiculous. Carolina said he means he doesn't want to be responsible. Then don't have sex with her or in that way. It's pretty simple. Considering he is 23 and she is 18, 5 years older than her, where is the maturity? Because I don't see it. It's pretty gross, negligent. To try and put all of his problems back on her is a pretty sad little boy move, and doesn't show anything in the way to his character. So I'm not surprised the jury did not buy it. Sick of seeing men out there, men, because 23, not 12, act like their responsibility ends after the act is finished. Well, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. And you can't just go around killing partners because you're lazy, because you only care about what you want and don't care about the aftermath until it's a problem for you. And it's just this girl didn't need to die. They could have solved this very early on, and it's ridiculous how many women are killed because they fall pregnant. It's not a one-party game. You need two people to get a pregnancy, and he's 50% of that answer. So he can go enjoy his time on death row until I don't know what they use in Florida, spicy chair, spicy injection, eaten by giant octopus. I don't know. Whatever it is, who cares? And he can enjoy his life on death row. Yeah, he is a selfish murderer in more ways than one. Espion said the frontal lobe used to form at 25, 28. Keep the violent man in jail until 28, but now let's say it's 35. He is definitely a man child. I agree with you. Man child is a great way of putting it. The other thing I would say is out there, I'm not trying to victim blame, but I wish our ladies out there would stop dating trash. Stop dating trash. Find the good guys and stop dating absolute pieces of crap, because that's what this guy is. And at 18, it's very sad that she got entwined with him. What's the name of your cats, please? Rory and Muffin. All right, let's play the rest of this.
Say the motive was undeniable, and after Faison's world fell apart when his girlfriend found out he had lied, cheated, and got another girl pregnant, he planned and executed Fiengo's murder.
The defendant thought about it. He devised a plan to kill an innocent victim. He carried out the plan in cold blood.
Fiengo's family says she will be missed and she will be remembered for choosing her child.
What she did was brave regardless, right? She chose her child at the end of the day.
Now that Faison has been found guilty, he could be sentenced to death. The judge ordered both the state attorneys and the defense attorneys to be back at this courthouse on Wednesday to start the death penalty phase.
I hope all his appeals fail. I hope all of them fail. He gets nothing, and this sentence is upheld. It is ridiculous. I didn't know that bit at the end there, that he had actually got another girl pregnant as well at the same time. To me, that just shows a pattern with the guy. It's the baby mama pattern. You just go around impregnating all the women around you and then walk away like it means nothing and leave them to pick up the pieces and go, well, you deal with it. You deal with it. You go get the, go get the termination. You deal with it. It's your problem, not my problem. I already did what I wanted to do. Now you pick up the pieces, and if you want to keep it, you raise the child till it's 18. It's ridiculous. This guy would have, if left unchecked, this guy would have had 35 children, and would have been like that quarterback that the Colts signed. He has a billion children. Although the difference is he's a good dad, and he provides for his children, and is a millionaire. If you don't know who I'm talking about, that's Philip Rivers, who has an absolute billion children. JDR said Johnny Appleseed's pretty. Oh, hey, hold on, guys. Sorry, giant cat attack. He just jumped on me out of nowhere. JDR said Johnny Appleseed spreading his throughout the land. I like how his game plan is. Oh, they're muted. Oh, I thought it said muted, not muffin. I was like, muted? We're not muted. Yeah, muffin. He decided to jump up. I like how his game plan is have sex with the girls and then decide what to do later. And one of those options is murder. I think it shows you the mental capacity of him. So he's just based on reward, and there's no other part of it. There's no other side of it. It's just like, what can he get for him? Yes, this in more ways than one. Awful story. I'm very happy he's been sentenced to death. I think we've got to. There you go. There's a little baby. Got to stop letting these losers roam around and act like this is like a hobby. Like it's fine. You want to date 100 women? It's no problem. You want to date 1,000 women? It's no problem either. But you have responsibilities not only to yourself, but to her as well. And if you can't do that, then maybe you shouldn't be sleeping around with 1,000 women, because maybe you'll end up like this idiot. Yeah, very sad. That was a baby boy, by the way. Baby boy was unfortunately killed, and all because she refused to terminate the pregnancy. And I think that is one of the most low. It doesn't even warrant a description, really. It just shows how sad of a person this guy is. I mean, who would want these genes? Let me just show you this for a second. Who would want these genes? Look at this man's hairline. Who would want this man's genes? I reckon it's no one. What girl wants this for her child if she has a boy? Who wants this at 20? What is he? 21? 23? 23. Bro's already going bald. I don't think anyone wants that for their kid. That should be a lesson here. Look at the hairline and be like, whoa, you have to wear 25 condoms, sir. 25. Can't risk it. Can't risk my child having that hairline. I'm sorry. It's either that or you get none of this. So there you go. I just think it's a waste of life. It really is. And that girl, 18, hadn't really started her life really. 18, we all remember when we were 18. She got into the big wide world for a very short period of time and then was killed by this guy. So, I mean, awful. Really, really awful, but justice has been served. Donovan Faison will most likely be put to death. And I don't know. Maybe they should teach this story in schools. Maybe they should. Maybe they should take this round to all the high schools in the USA and play this trial for them. Maybe it should be compulsory learning. They should have to watch the entire trial, see all the evidence, and see the conclusion to it. And when they put this guy eventually to death, maybe they should show that too. Maybe it would scare some of the kids into not doing what he did. Espionage said, what mum or dad didn't teach or tell their child to respect women and be a real man? A lot of parents out there, apparently, because we seem to have this problem with DV and men beating up women, killing women, dumping them in ditches. I think while a lot of people pretend that they are great, great parents and things like that, we obviously have a problem with young men not knowing that, not knowing how to respect women. And I don't know how to change it except for people have to start, people have to stop lying to themselves. Stop lying. I'm not saying anyone in my chat or anything, but I'm sure his mom is all like, I didn't raise him like that. I raised a good boy. Really? Because don't seem like it. Don't seem like it at all. Seems like as soon as he could get out there and get near any of these women, he was just perpetuating a stereotype. JDR said Florida. Yeah, it is definitely Florida. So, and that's the sad thing about it too. There'll be a lot of jokes made about this particular crime and case because it fits into that stereotype, and we all laugh about it. It's all funny when we're not talking about a murder. Oh, baby daddies, and oh, it goes the other way too. There's a lot of women got like kids to like 5 dads or whatever. I mean, it's a choice, but it's not funny. It's not funny, especially when it ends up like this. And it gotta teach young women and mostly as well young men that there's more to life than being trash. And yeah, it could definitely be an episode of Jerry Springer. Definitely. Definitely, except for the woman who was carrying the child and has the sonogram is dead. So I don't think you get a very long episode of the show. So Kaylin's gone. Donovan, he's going to live his what probably will be a short life in prison in Florida. Florida's taken a turn recently, and they have started ramping up sort of their repercussions for people on death row. So I don't know how long he'll remain on there, how many appeals he might have, but they are not mucking around in Florida at the moment. Espion said Florida and California, same horrible issue of dredges of society being held up as gods. Wow, that is true. Hey, permaculture, what's up? Permaculture said, I am that girl, loads of therapy at 60, still attract these guys. I don't know, shit childhood. Demand better for yourself, girl. Demand better for yourself. Know your value. Know your value. That's the one thing I think we could teach men and women, but I think a lot of people need that lesson in life. Know your value. Don't have to go with the bad boy all the time. Maybe you can find someone you like that is will treat you better. I think you can have a bit of both. Maybe you can have a guy who rides a Harley, but I don't know, maybe he's an accountant. Maybe you can have an accountant, Harley riding dude who's not into DV. I don't know. Sounds like 1% of the population. You may find him though. I wish you luck. I hope you do find him. So there we go. Very, very sad. Let's see if do we have those text messages? Let me double check. Yeah, I think there was a copy of them. No, that's not it. I wish this would F off. Let's see here, Donovan Faison. Let me check one other place. Just trying to see. I know they showed them in court. I was just trying to see if we could find a quick copy of them. Let's have a look. No, I can't seem to find them. But there is the bullet that shot and killed her. I mean, the casing, not a bullet, it's a casing. And you can see the evidence marker there. So if I find them, I'll bring them to you. I'll try and apply for them. We have some contacts in Florida for court documents. I'll see if they have them. If they have them, I'll get it for you, and we'll have a look at it. SP1 said, young girls don't know the bad boy isn't the hero she needs. That's why she's a young girl and a child and needs good parents. Wow. JDR said that is why so many women are remaining single and unattached. I know it's actually interesting. There was a study that came out only a few weeks ago that said worldwide the population of couples has gone down, and the birth of new children, I know we're talking about a dead child here, but the birth of new children has actually plummeted in a lot of countries because a lot of young people are not partnering up and having long-term relationships and things like that. So yeah, I think there is a bit of a confluence between the two of them. Where how do we solve both issues without getting this? I'm not sure. I don't get paid enough money to figure that out, but I'm sure there might be people that do. Um, yeah. All right, let's continue. By the way, I was looking into our friend from last night, Morty. Unfortunately, there's been no update overnight in about Morty, unfortunately, which is very sad. I don't know what is going to happen next with that one. So if you don't know that, it was a missing guy called Morty out of New Jersey, full name Mortimer Wortman, and they believe Adam Zuluk might have something to do with it because he was the last person to see Morty alive. And the strange thing about this, if you didn't watch the show last night, there was a court case that was supposed to go ahead on Monday, and it was Morty, or probably the state, against Adam. It was about an incident that happened earlier this year. They were going to take Adam to court in relation to it. And a couple of weeks before the court date, for some reason, Morty met up with Adam, and then Morty went missing. It's very odd. They say that Adam is a friend of Morty. I don't know what type of friends you have to take to court because they terrorize you. And Zuluk was charged with threatening Morty, was due in court this week on those charges, and has not been charged in connection to Morty's disappearance. So they are still looking for him, unfortunately. And I have not seen any good updates today about what happened to him. So I'm guessing his family is still out there looking for him. I hope they find him, but he's been missing since the 21st of November. That's a long time to just not contact family. Missing Thanksgiving, all that type of thing. Not showing up to your court day, for the prosecution who's trying to help you. So it definitely seems a little sinister. It definitely seems like there might be something more going on here. And if I get a bigger update, I will let you know. But right now, there is no new information about Morty. I really wish there was. I'm going to see if there was an update here. Actually, when I search Morty, my video comes up. So my video from last night actually shows up on the search. Let's see. All right, I'm going to take you back. I'll play the one we played yesterday just for people who didn't see it, and then we'll move on.
Morty Wortman has been missing for over 2 weeks now. Today, growing more frustrated, his family is calling for the arrest of the last person to see him back on November 21st. That person, Adam Zalek, was in court today in Toms River for threatening Wortman's life back in July. News 12 New Jersey's Chris Keating has more on the case from Ocean County.
For 17 days, the family of Morty Wortman has been searching these woods for the Rutgers student. But for the first time, that family left this wooded area in Jackson Township in search of answers elsewhere. Today, the family gathered at the Ocean County Courthouse. Morty Wortman's brother, mother, relatives, and friends all showed up at the Ocean County Courthouse wanting to hear from this man, Adam Zaluk, seen here in a mugshot. They believe that he is responsible for Morty's disappearance. They have learned that Zaluk was with the Rutgers student the night he disappeared.
Absolutely, 100%. We are all convinced that he has something to do with it. Our family wants an arrest. We want him to be arrested. And this is another day he's walking away free.
Morty's family was disappointed because at the last minute today, the court hearing was postponed by a judge with no explanation. Today's hearing was not about Morty's disappearance. Rather, it was related to an incident back in July when Zaluk allegedly threatened Morty with a knife in Point Pleasant Beach and then vandalized his car. Meanwhile, family members have been told that Morty was last seen on surveillance video on November 21st at the Regional Day School in Jackson Township. He was getting into Zaluk's car in the parking lot late at night. Since then, police have been searching surrounding woods. On Saturday, in fact, the New Jersey State Police led a search 260 people strong, over 1,200 acres, but they found nothing.
Was praying that we find some.
Now, we looked at that area last night around the school. It is massive. It is a giant. There you go. You see a bit of it there. That is the search conditions that they have to look through. It is like a giant wilderness reserve. There's nothing like out there except for like an airport and animals and trees. There's like nothing out there for miles. And if you are to believe Adam Zaluk's story, is that Morty just left his vehicle and ran into the woods. I struggle with believing that. Why would you there's a lot of questions, like why would Morty meet up with someone who they have a court case against for violence? It was a violent offense, a knife was pulled. Why would you meet up with them? The second question is, why would you get in the car with them? You know, very close. You're putting yourself in a vulnerability. The third question is, can you believe the story that Adam told that about Morty just jumping out of the car and running into the forest? I struggle with that. I just don't think that is a real thing. And yeah, I'll show you again. We even tried to go down the road, but you can't. There is no Google Maps. So there's that car park they were showing on that video. It's right here. There's an exit here, Toms River Road. That is where they sort of said he went missing. But if you go to the back of the school, look at this. If I zoom out, it's just miles. Goes for just miles and miles and miles. There's not much out here at all. There's very little. Yeah, there's the airport I was telling you about. So if you go this way, there's what looks like a mining thing, possibly an old one. I'm not sure what that is. Solar panels. But you can see if he was on this road, Toms River Road, and say he went in this direction up through here, you would end up at Lakehurst Avenue, and there's homes here. So you would think if Morty ran through here for some reason, some of these homes must have a Ring doorbell that you would probably catch Morty running through the area. But if you went this way, there's nothing. Really nothing except for whatever that is. Someone's property. Other than that, there's not much out here at all. So I struggle about why would Morty just get out of the car and just run into the forest from here? Oh, sorry, from this one here. You can see that's the car park. It's got only one exit up here. I don't know, but the story doesn't sound right to me. It sounds a little odd. So, Laura said, such a large area, prayers for the family and that he's found soon. Hope so. Blaze says, no, I do not believe they're running into the forest. Me either. And I agree with the family that why is this person not being brought in to answer questions, to be put on a formal recording of interview, anything like that? The family want Adam arrested over Morty's disappearance, but so far they haven't done anything about that. Let's have a look. Yeah, so Morty was last seen in Jackson Township 6 days ago. His friends on campus are concerned someone may have harmed him. Sounds like it. Morty is 22 years old. He is studying on the Cook Douglas campus in New Brunswick. And yeah, they say he was last seen November 21 around 10:30 p.m. near a wooded area along Highbridge Road. Now, Highbridge Road is interesting. If I take you back to here, it's here. This is Highbridge Road. And if you go up here, it meets Tom's River Road through here. And this is the last point that he was seen alive, even though they quote it as being this car park, but then they say the last point he was seen was actually here. Anyway, there's the sort of area of what they are looking for Morty. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you that update. No update on Mortimer as of yet, and I know his mum and other people have been out in that forest searching for him consistently every day. They have all been out there calling his name, searching through it, trying to find him. So there's a photo of Morty there, another one. And if you live in New Jersey, if you live around the area and you know anything, call the local PD. Call the local PD. It is Jackson Police 732-928 quadruple 1. And you could also contact Ocean County Prosecutor Office as well, or Rutgers University PD. They are also investigating. Guys, give me 1 second. I got to go find my cat. Hold on. There we go. We're back. Yeah, so that is your update for Morty. Not a big update, unfortunately, but if I hear more, I will bring it to you. And yeah, so let's hope for good news for Morty. All right, what else has been going on? What time is it? 1:42. We got a bit more time, which is good. Uh let's talk about this, and I find this somewhat hilarious. So I don't know if you guys know who Bonnie Blue is. Put your hands up in the chat. Do you know who Bonnie Blue is? It's not a crime story as such, but there has been an arrest, and I find this pretty funny. So this is Bonnie Blue here. She is a female adult performer. And this guy here is a comedian. She's currently in Indonesia because Australia kicked her out of the country a couple of years ago. She's currently in Indonesia filming her movies. And she's currently in custody because she had been playing a very sordid sex game in Bali. And the Indonesian police got wind of it. They have very strict morality laws in Indonesia, and they figured out where she was and where she was filming this content, and went and raided it while they were underway and filming this content. So she is now in custody along with this guy, this Chrome Dome guy next to her. He is not an adult performer. He is a comedian. I don't know why they linked up, but his name is Julian Woods, and he is a comedian apparently. I've never heard of him. And yeah, so these guys are now basically being held captive by the Indonesian government, but no charges have been laid as of yet. Originally, they arrested everyone who was in the building when they raided the sort of filming studio on the day. And they say in this article that on the day that the raids took place, they were filming uh, sort of like a game show, but in an adult format. The prize was that whoever won would get to have sort of her, would get to, have their way with her. And yeah, Indonesian police got wind of it and basically came in and arrested them. So Carolina said maybe Indonesia not the best place to choose. A country that is like 70% Muslim people and like 30% Christian people, I think is maybe not your greatest place to choose to go and do this. Make-A-Wish Foundation, I think he was hoping that his wish might come true. I don't know about anyone else's, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he's wearing a Make-A-Wish t-shirt. So yeah, if you don't know who she is, I find this pretty funny because she got booted out of Australia a couple years ago for trying something similar here. And when our authorities found out, they deported her and sent her back to England. And now, because she can't get to Australia, she went to Bali. Now, you may ask, why would she go to Bali? In November and December every year, there is a sort of coming of age type thing that happens for people who are leaving school. So the people who are in year 12 and they're going to like leave high school, they go to what is called schoolies. And originally that used to mean you used to go up to the Gold Coast and you would get drunk for like a week and then you would party and then you would go home and promise not to tell your mother what you did while you're up there. Sort of like spring break in America, but for people who are leaving school, not just for the older kids in college or whatever. So this one's for people who are in year 12 and they have finished their high school education. The reason she wanted to come here was to interact with those boys, men who had left school and were celebrating this event. Being that she couldn't get to Australia this time, she went to Bali because some of the school leavers who have a bit of money go to Bali instead of going to the Gold Coast. So she decided, well, I can't get to Australia, I'm going to go to Bali. And now she is behind bars. They said here, Bonnie Blue, whose real name is Tia, was allegedly in the midst of a sex game being recorded for social media with Woods and 16 other male tourists when police arrived. They say it's understood that Tia, or Bonnie Blue, was arrested on suspicion of allegedly making pornographic material, which is illegal under Indonesia's strict mortality laws. So there you go. tried to be clever, tried to outwit the authorities, and ended up being arrested. So there you go. There you go, children. don't don't do silly things, and you won't win silly prizes. Bonnie Blue is now winning a silly prize. Chrome Dome may have won a pretty bad prize as well. So I thought I'd update you on that because I thought it was pretty funny that she tried to get around the laws down here and then ended up getting picked up in Indonesia. Good chance Indonesia deports her as well. Just like she's collected some men, she may collect deportation from different countries as well. Let's see how many she can get. Hold on, guys. All right, there we go. Okay, let's see what else I got on my list of updates for you today. I don't think there's been a ton. I think it's been a funny, quiet day. All right, we have to do this. Let's go out to this is in New Jersey. Wow, we've done a lot of stories out in New Jersey. Let me see if
A retired South Jersey teacher and a current Santa Claus actor is facing serious charges tonight. Teacher and a current Santa Claus actor is facing serious charges tonight. Police in Hamilton Township, Mercer County have arrested Mark Polino.
The 64-year-old is accused of possessing child pornography because of his role of performing as Santa and interacting with children. Investigators moved quickly to secure his arrest.
Monday night, the big story on Action News is a Santa Claus actor sitting behind bars tonight.
Action News reporter Trish Hartman is live in Hamilton Township with the details. Trish.
Yeah, Rick, sorry, this news will be very upsetting to people in the community during this time that's full of holiday family events. That man who is known locally to perform as Santa Claus has been charged with some very disturbing allegations. While Christmas cheer is all around, a New Jersey man who performs as the big man in red is facing some serious criminal charges.
It wasn't until we saw Mark taken away that we realized something was going on with him.
64-year-old Mark Polino was arrested Friday. Neighbors say they saw police and a SWAT team at his home when he was taken into custody, now charged with crimes related to possessing child pornography.
If it wasn't so serious, it would be hilarious. But unfortunately, it is real. Paulino has been arrested on those charges, and Santa Claus, I don't think, is going to be able to have any children sitting on his lap for this Christmas. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be kept well away from children this holiday season. And Santa's been a very bad boy, apparently. Maybe has to go on his own naughty list.
And endangering the welfare of a child.
He was such a nice guy. He played Santa. I knew he was a teacher. It was kind of disappointing.
Paulino goes by Santa Mark, and according to his website, he offers a little extra Christmas magic to holiday events. He's also a retired elementary school teacher for the Hamilton Township School District.
This is Santa Claus.
According to court documents, he's also accused of filming a child in a bedroom and then sending it to himself or someone else. Hi. A woman who answered the door at Paulino's listed address immediately closed the door when we knocked today. Authorities say they were alerted to alleged illegal internet activity on Thursday, and because of his interaction with young children, they executed a warrant the next day. Folks in town say they don't want to believe it's true, but the charges are upsetting.
It's a terrible, terrible thing to hear about, especially this time of the year. I have grandsons, and that's a sad thing.
We also reached out to the contact information on Paulino's Santa Mark website, and no one has responded. Paulino remains behind bars for now, and he has a scheduled court appearance tomorrow morning. Prosecutors intend to argue that he needs to stay behind bars during these legal proceedings.
I agree. You got to keep this guy behind bars until the 1st of January. You can't be letting Santa out when Santa is taking videos of children in their bedrooms. You know, we've heard about this guy before. Apparently, he can get down chimneys. He takes milk and cookies. He may even have co-offenders, reindeer. He may have reindeer co-offenders. You know, they act like a gang. They fly around the country, break in through your chimney, and then apparently take photos of children in their bedroom and share them around. It is a very disturbing story, and Santa needs to stay away from children, apparently. I want to look up his website. What was it called? Let's go back. He had a website, right? What was it called?
It was kind of disappointing.
Paulino goes by Santa Mark, and according
All right. Santa Mark. Let's have a look. All right, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to see if I can find his website where he advertises his services or not. santamark.info. Okay. So here's the website for the very, very naughty Santa Claus. Here you go. Look, I told you, co-offenders, reindeer. He says, get in touch with me so we can collaborate on your next event. I don't think so, Santa Mark. I don't think that's what we're going to be doing. I don't think anybody should be getting in contact with you for any type of services. Now, what does he say you can do here? He says, photos with him, take photos with your camera or request a photographer. Special requests or questions, welcome. Visit from Santa. He says he gives gifts and or candy, leads sing-alongs, listens to and receives gift lists, and reads and tells Christmas stories. All services are prearranged to make visits truly magical. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. We may have to interview some of these children that you have in these photos right here. I'm concerned about. Actually, I'm a little concerned about this little girl here. Why is this little girl? Look at the like, I'm not clothes shaming or whatever this girl, but we have what is now an alleged PDF file, and there is a young girl here, you know, not scantily clad at all, but maybe a little more leg than Santa needs. A little more leg. So maybe you got to interview these two girls and find out what happened when Santa Mark came to visit them. He is a very creepy Santa. He is the the urban legend that we've all heard about Santa at the mall. Well, he's it. He is the urban legend. He has come to life, and now it's right in front of you. Carolina said, I don't want my dog sitting on his lap. He may offend against animals too. Khaliza said, a lot of the times the Santa smelled like vodka and cigarettes. Hey, you gotta work in a mall and have bratty children sitting on your lap for 12 hours a day. I would drink the vodka too. Laura said all the sickos seem to work around children. Hopefully not anymore. Hopefully not anymore. Too many jokes. Yeah, there is too many jokes about Santa Mark, definitely. Yeah, let me see what else we can find on Santa Mark. So CBS in Philly did a story too. Hold on.
A New Jersey man who performed as a Santa Claus at holiday events is facing some serious and disturbing charges this morning.
Yeah, he's under arrest facing charges related to child pornography. CBS News Philadelphia's Chandler Lutz is live outside of the Mercer County Superior Court. That's where he's scheduled to have a hearing in just a few hours. Chandler, good morning.
Yeah, guys, good morning. Mark Paulino, he is a retired Hamilton Township school teacher, and during the holidays, he portrays Santa Claus. He's well known in the area as playing Santa Mark. Well, he was arrested on Friday with charges related to child sexual abuse material. Take a look at your screen right now. This is Mark Paulino, who is 64. According to prosecutors, this started when detectives from the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit received information from state police that someone in Mercer County had uploaded multiple files of suspected child sexual abuse material. Last Friday, law enforcement executed a search warrant of Paulino's Hamilton Township home as he was taken into custody. Paulino faces 4 charges, including 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. Second-degree crimes carry a sentence of 5 to 10 years in state prison and a fine of $150,000 of up to $150,000. Hamilton Township School District has declined to comment. Now, the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office stresses this is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact the prosecutor's office. That's the number you see on your screen. You can also submit tips anonymously online at mercercountyprosecutor.com. Now, Jim, Paulino's initial detention hearing is scheduled for 9 a.m. at the courthouse behind me here in Trenton. I'll send it back.
Hopefully he is kept behind bars. I don't see an update from if he was due in court today. I don't see an update. Yeah, hold on. I want to see if we can find out like what happened at court. Yeah, said he had a detention hearing today. I don't see an update. Ah, that's very interesting. CBS News have taken down the story on Mark Paulino. Why? I don't know, but the story is gone. Let's see. I wonder if he got out because I don't see what happened in court today at all. I don't see any update about it, which is strange. If he was in court, you would think there would be massive updates about what had happened. Second degree. Doesn't say what happened with his detention hearing today, but he has been charged with a bunch of charges. Second degree distro of CSAM, 1 count of second degree possession of it, 1 count of third degree possession of CSAM, 1 count of endangering the welfare of a child. I just don't see what happened today. They're saying it carries between a 5 to 10 year sentence in state prison and up to $150,000 in fines. Well, that's a lot of money. There was a press release put out from the Mercer County Prosecutor Office, and they're just saying that he was picked up by the Internet Crimes Against Children Unit, and it resulted in his arrest and charge. I'm just trying to see why. All right. I was hoping that there would have been an update. I reckon he got out, and I reckon that's why CBS have taken down the story. I just have a feeling because normally when they remove stories like that, there's a reason behind it. Let's have a look. Yeah, no update on his appearance in court today, but if I get it, I will let you know what Paulino is going to do, whether he's going to be held in jail over the holiday season. Okay, I did get an update. Paulino will remain behind bars without bond as he awaits trial. And they're saying it's unclear if he has entered any pleas to the charges he has been charged with. But yeah, he will be kept in jail. He will not be released, and he will go to trial sometime next year. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Kerry Christmas. All right, I will tell Kerry. To Mr. and Mrs. Ping and all Pingsters. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. It's very kind. Sean says, "How about that one?" Yeah, there was the. I think we did that story. She got done because she was hunting in a state, right? And she claimed, so the law in that state is that you can hunt, but you have to be a resident to be able to get the hunting tag. And they're saying that she was not a resident at the time that she picked up the hunting tag. And she did it multiple times, claiming to live within the area. And they basically took her to court and charged her for it because she was not a resident at the time. So she got in a lot of trouble. Let's see. I don't know if I can get a localized story for it. I'll have a look for sure, and I'll see if we can find anything. Yeah, I can't find anything that isn't law and crime. If I use law and crime, I'll get in trouble. Yeah, we might be able to use this one. All right. Yeah, she got charged with 8 misdemeanors in Wyoming. And you may have seen her from this photo when she came to Australia and picked up a baby wombat. And apparently the mum was very distressed at the fact that this woman had picked up its baby. And she was just laughing and holding the wombat and not very cool. So she is charged with 6 counts of false swearing, 1 count of taking an animal, and another count of non-resident hunting without a guide. The charges were filed by the Sublette County Deputy Attorney, and they're saying the counts relate to obtaining a Wyoming resident hunting license without having residency in the area. The charges were filed on November 18, and she was booked on November 21. They're saying court documents say Wyoming Fish and Game began their investigation following an anonymous tip-off on August 11. And they're saying Samantha continues to buy resident tags even though she hasn't resided in Wyoming for over 2 years and brags about it on social media to over 90,000 followers. And they're saying that investigations found that she moved out of the area in 2023. Yet she still claimed these resident hunting tags for locals. So she did brag about it online too, saying how easy it was to game the system. So yeah, very silly girl. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Yeah, she was. Don't forget the parted lips saying hope. Sure. Sure. Yeah, so that's basically it. She is getting a little bit of her, you know, a different kind of justice, really. Coming to Australia, being a dork and annoying our wildlife, and now she goes back home, and the sort of law enforcement are hassling her. So sometimes things come around like karma, and sounds like she is in for. I don't know what you would get if you get convicted of it. What is it? Wow, she deleted her social media after being charged. Interesting. Let's have a look. 1 count of yeah. What would happen if you did this? Wyoming. Um, Okay. So, false swearing is a misdemeanor charge in Wyoming and could result in up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $10,000. They're saying when you have these charges and they accumulate, potential could be several years of jail time and up to $100,000 of fines. So she could have to spend like almost 10 years in jail or and $100,000 in fines. Sounds like she's not laughing anymore. She tried to think that she was better than everyone, thought that she would get away with it with everyone, and yeah, decided now she's going to have her karma come back to her. So we'll see what happens with Samantha Strable and what happens when she goes to court. I'm not sure what will end up happening to her, but yeah, I'm just going to try find more about her. This will probably be our last story because I have to let you guys go in a minute. It's weird. I can't see like anyone covering this story in America. Like, yeah. What I'll show you is I'll show you what happened when she was here and why so many people decided to sort of dob her in to the authorities in America. If it'll play. Hopefully it will.
The American influencer who snatched a baby wombat from its distressed mother has left Australia. The Department of Home Affairs today confirmed that Sam Jones flew out this morning. The online hunting star was the target of intense public backlash after video emerged of her grabbing the animal. Today, a new clip surfaced of her picking up an echidna and then stroking it. It's not clear exactly whether she will be deported or left on her own will. The Minister Tony Burke saying, quote, "There's never been a better day to be a baby wombat in Australia." In more breaking news.
So there you go. That is why people had it out for her. Hey, Laurie, how are you, my friend? That is very true. Can you ask a question about Courtney Bartholomew? Why does that sound familiar?
To breaking news this hour, Hurricane Melissa.
Shush. Courtney is Rebecca's mom. Yes. What do you want to know about it? What would you like to know, my friend? What would you like to know about Courtney and Rebecca? If you ask me the question, I'll let you know. So there was an update. I've been away for the weekend apparently. So they found the baby. The baby died. Park's body was found in the forest on November 25th. Okay, so Courtney admitted to investigators that she cut the baby out of Rebecca's body after she had died, and that Bradley placed the baby in a cooler and disposed of it in a random trash container. The baby has still not been found. Wow. Placed it in a cooler. What? These guys are idiots. Is she blind? I don't think I've heard that. Hold on, let me have a look. I don't think I've heard that she's blind. I mean, it might be true, but it's not something I've seen. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've not seen that mentioned to it before about her being blind or anything. Yeah, isn't that awful that they I just don't get it. I just don't get what the end game could have been for Rebecca and these two here. These two hills have eyes looking motherfuckers, both of them. Both of them look like they could be extras in that movie. They look like their freaking cousins, are their mom, are their dads, are their sisters. It very much looks like that. They they are awful, awful people. The fact she would, Courtney, this woman here, this ghastly looking person. They call her evil personified, I agree. Although she looks like she's about as smart as two bricks in the back of a ute bobbing around. But yeah, I don't understand what the end game of it was. To cut the child and do what exactly? Kill them both? Is that all? So you just decided to put through Rebecca in the most amount of pain you could think of. Oh, really? So both of the Bartholomews had their bond denied. Courtney asked for the judge to reconsider that decision in court on Wednesday. She and her attorney cited that the woman's unidentified medical ailments and her need to care for her 14-year-old son as reasons for her release pending the resolution of the case. No. No. That doesn't get you out of a murder charges and getting parole or bail is very rare, and it takes a lot to convince the court to let you out of jail pending trial. And just saying that you have to care for a 14-year-old and that you have medical ailments is not enough. That is pretty standard. Everyone that goes to court says something like that. It has to be extraordinary. It has to be something out of this world to be able to try and convince the judge to let you out. And the judge said, while I understand there are some health conditions and the concern for a minor child, the fact remains that Miss Bartholomew is, I find, a flight risk and a danger to the community, so I will continue to hold her without bond. Good work, judge. Good work. Awful. The details that are coming out are just horrific. To do that to someone who's supposed to be like family is even to do that to a stranger is beyond. It's beyond anything. It's horrific. Yeah, I can't believe they did that. Remove the child, put it in a cooler after Rebecca had died, and then they chuck the baby in a bin. That baby could have been born. That baby could have lived. Rebecca was already dilated in her cervix. She was getting ready for labor or was already in labor. She could have delivered a healthy baby. And that is I hope these two never see the light of day ever again. Ever. Throw them in the prison basement and just burn it down. Just burn it down. These two are trash individuals. Just get rid of them. I don't think we even have to go to trial. I think we can just take them straight away. Ain't nobody want it. They're just trash. Just both of them. You know, we hear people like describe people as like trailer trash or stuff like that. These people aren't even trailer trash. Trailer trash seems a bit too fancy for them. These people are literally the scum of human DNA. The like what humans are. These are just like the lowest of the low. They can fuck right off as far as Ping is concerned. They can get out. I just to do I it still boggles my mind to do that to someone you were supposed to be. It's your child and it's the ultimate betrayal. Ultimate betrayal to do that to your own daughter when she is vulnerable. She's 9 months pregnant. She can't fight back. And you did that to her when she mostly needed your help and guidance. It's wrong under anything you could think of. Cassie said, "Do you know how many people would have loved to raise that baby?" Right. Well, not even that. Rebecca would have raised the child. I don't think it's about that. I think Rebecca would have raised her own child had she been alive. So I don't think it's like Rebecca didn't want the kid, so they killed it. I think if Rebecca was alive, she would have raised the baby. Yeah. It's awful. These two, we have a lot of political shootings or whatever. I feel like sometimes they might be wasted bullets. There's a lot more better people in this world that could be directed to. All right. Now I'm mad. now I'm mad. This story makes me just so furious. It really does. They're just trash. It's frustrating when you hear about them, what they did to her. I mean, I would not be surprised if these two are absolutely beaten to death in prison every day. And I'm sure there are people in the jail waiting to have their opportunity at these two. I hear Morning says probably didn't want to pay the child support. Yeah, I've heard this story. I've heard this theory that the child was his. I don't know if that's true, but it was something I heard going around like a week or so ago, that people were saying that it was his. He was the father. I don't know if that was ever verified or whatever. But that rumor was going around at one point. We'll have to wait for well, we'll never know if they can't find the kid. I don't know if they can do a DNA test on what she had left, like in her womb or something like that. I don't know if there's a way to test that. So, Chipmunk says maybe we'll find out in the future. I hope so. I hope so. Rebecca deserves justice, and for these two to go away. By the way, I want to thank. I don't want to use your real name, so I'm just going to use the name MH. Thank you very much. It's very generous of you. Very, very generous. Thank you so much. And our daily help from Sean. Thank you to the both of you. I really appreciate it. Oh, Danny gave a membership. Oh, Danny, thank you so much. I didn't see that when we came in. Thank you. I hope someone enjoys the membership that Danny gave to you. And of course, Carolina says Merry Christmas to Kerry. Kerry, if you're out there. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you, my friend. It's good to see you. I hear Morning says what matters is did he think he was the father? That's a good point. It only has to be intent. It was a boy. They did find the child? Hold on, did they? Ping's been stuck in this other trial for like a month, and I've dipped in and out of different cases. Okay. I don't see that, Rebecca. Hold on. I don't see that they found the child. Yeah, I don't see it. I see that Courtney and the other guy, they told, or Courtney said what happened, and that included that he took the child and put it in a cooler, then dumped it in a bin. But I don't see anything about them finding the kid. Yeah, I don't see that at all. But I'll check into it. I'll check into it. Yeah, I know that it had a name and it was a boy. Oh, okay. I don't see that anywhere. I know on Monday there was new court documents that came out due to a court hearing on Monday. That may be where some of this information is coming from. Oh, Mamma Mia got it. Good work. Mamma Mia deserves the membership. All right, I'll research it. We'll talk more about it on the next show, possibly the late show today. Okay. I'll see you after Patricia finishes. I'll come and hang out with you all. All right. I love you all. I hope that was some fun earlier in the night for you all. I'll be back for the late show. Come hang out with us on the late show after Web Sleuths Live. We cover everything they don't. So as long as it's as long as it's not John Benet Ramsey or Laurie Vallow, we'll probably cover it because we do other stories other than that. Oh, she's not going live tonight? They didn't even tell me. Good work, Stacy and Patricia. Oh, they're not going live? Hold on. Good work, you two, for letting me know. Oh, it is just me. Oh, okay. Well, we can just stay on then. All right, we can just stay on and hang out. Yeah, no one told me. She's out of town. I have to go though. I have to go. I have to go back to court for a little while because court just came back in like 10 minutes ago. Um, I don't know. Give me a second. Hold on. I just want to check what's going on in the court. Give me 1 minute. All right. Well, we can stay on for a little bit. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Court is back, but it's all right. They're dealing with something that I don't fully need to know about. No, I don't want to end the show and then have to make another one. If they're not coming on, then there's no need to end this one. Go eat pie. I don't think I have any pie right now. I think we were supposed to pick up a different one, but we haven't done it yet. But I don't think I have any pie right now. No, it's okay. I just dropped in on the courtroom to have a look, and it seems like they're continuing with the defense's closing argument, but it's all right. I've seen all of this detail, so it's okay. All right, let's head out to North Carolina. I want to have a look at this. Apparently, there was a oh, really? A high school student was killed on campus. What? I want to hear about that. I didn't even know about this one. Someone sent it to me. Is that for real? Knife crime in America. Let's have a look. They're saying here it was in North Forsyth High School. Deadly fight on video on social media. They're asking people not to share the video around on social media. They're saying that a child was killed after a knife was produced, and then obviously it was filmed because every child has a phone. And they're saying this isn't the time to clout chase our students, our teachers, all the staff. We will need all of us as a community to come together and put an end to senseless violence. All right, I want to play the where is this? Winston-Salem Police Department. Where is that? North Carolina. North Carolina, okay.
It's a dark day for our city. Events like this have shaken us to our very core. The Winston-Salem Police Department is an assisting agency in its investigation. Much like the Sheriff's Office and the school system, we're committed to identifying what occurred. What I would also say, and please by no means read more into this than what I'm saying, is that as a community, we're going to have to absolutely work together to stop senseless violence, period.
I feel like that message goes out anytime something like this happens, but nothing actually changes. Let's see what else they have to say. This is Dr. Don Phipps. He is the superintendent of the area.
I want to start by saying that
If it'll
our
play.
thoughts and prayers are with our students, staff, and family. When something like this happens, it impacts everyone involved, and that's certainly where our thoughts and prayers are. I want to express my sincere appreciation to local law enforcement and medical first responders for their quick responses and thorough work today. I also want to thank school faculty and staff members for their quick, responsive action. Today is a worst nightmare of any educator. We hurt when our students hurt, and this is the ultimate hurt that we can possibly feel. North Forsyth High School will be closed for students tomorrow. We will have our crisis team in place to meet with faculty and staff, and will extend those services to students upon their return.
Wow, I don't understand. It's very silly that these kids will film it on their phones and then they put it online as if it is some sort of big accomplishment. Hey, a kid got stabbed and died, and look at me. I stood around and videotaped it on my phone. And I just don't think they have the mental maturity to realize how damaging that is to not only the school, not only to the victim's family, but to everyone who has to either watch it or have to be a part of that. It's terrible. It really is. Here I'll show you a bit more here from another segment they have. How awful. I wonder, do we have a age of the kid? Hold on, before we watch that one, I want to find out the age of the kid. They're saying it was a fight between two students at North Forsyth High School that led to a deadly stabbing. One student died, the other was injured. Happened around 11 a.m. and the school was placed on lockdown. But they're not giving us an age of the kid. No age, which is interesting. You would think they would have, but well, if they're in high school, they've got to be between like 13 and 18. It can't be anything outside of that, can it? Yeah, all right. Let's watch the video.
Was this someone that you knew or someone that you were friends with?
Yeah, me and him actually went to elementary school and middle school together. So,
And to know that this is someone that you knew all growing up, you were in classes. I mean, how does that feel that this is something that happened so close to you?
it just hurts. I don't know other way to put it. It hurts really, knowing that one people I can really go to like, yo, what's up? Like, how you been? He gone now. Like, that's crazy. We kind of think about because we still kids. To be honest with you, we really is still kids. It's just really like crazy to think about.
Well, in your experience at North Forsyth so far, would you ever have expected something like this to happen?
No, not at all. Never would have came to my mind.
Well, and what has been your primary focus? You said you're just kids, and you know, what is the day-to-day typically like for you? I mean, it's school, athletics, things like that. Just knowing that this violence could occur, I mean, what are you hoping that the community takes from this, that this is impacting young people like yourselves?
I really just hope that like we can start doing right. Most starts with parents, to be honest with you. So we could just start teaching our kids right from this. This will be really, we could really avoid this. It was just bad things happen throughout though. I just hope and pray that everybody can teach their kids right from wrong and just stuff like that. And the kids make the right decisions. Because that could have been avoided with just words, simple, okay, my bad, or a simple, okay, let me leave. Because it's really been changed, definitely.
And of course, school is canceled tomorrow. What does tonight look like for you? You were speaking with your mother, and I know you were so happy to see her. I could see the smiles on both of your faces. What does tonight look like for you both?
Prayers, just praying for the family, praying that everything be better for everybody, honestly, because it's shaking some people, honestly, to be honest with you. It really has shaken people. And I just will be praying for everybody else, that people that made it safely out.
Well,
Seems very calm for like watching a friend who he says he knew for many years just be killed today. I don't know if he's in shock or something like that, but he just seems very calm about his buddy. Let's see. I'm surprised that they haven't given out like more details. And I get like it's a child and they have to tell the parents and okay, no, that's not it. I don't see. Yeah, I was trying to find an age for the kid, but I don't see it. No. Okay. Let's go back to the other details. They just said that the student died after being stabbed, and that when the sheriff office did not release details about how the student died or what led to the altercation, North Carolina Governor Josh Stein confirmed it was because of a stabbing. And he said on X, the stabbing took place at the high school is shocking and horrible. I'm praying for all students in the community and their loved ones. North Carolinians need to be safe wherever they are, especially in school. I have spoken with Sheriff Kimbrough to offer my support. We must never stop working towards a safer North Carolina. Well, I guess that is true. And then the superintendent said, this is the worst nightmare of any educator. We hurt when our students hurt, and this is the ultimate hurt we can possibly feel. They're saying classes will be closed tomorrow. Well, I could understand why classes might be off tomorrow. Let me have a look. I'm going to just check one of the news channels, see if there's been any update recently. No. Yeah, hold on. North Faison High School. Let me check one source of information, and I want to see whether people really are sending this video around online. I really hope that's not it. Ah, shit. They are sending it online. So I'm not going to play the video for you, but I'll describe to you what it looks like. There's a video. There seems to be like someone's holding a phone with it pointed towards the ground, and you're in a bathroom in the school, and there's two people, and they're fighting in the bathroom, and they're sort of in a headlock, sort of in this lock together, and they seem to be just tussling. And it seems like the fight got broken up. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. It doesn't look like much. It looks like they just sort of tussle a little bit. What? Oh, okay. Okay, when they're sort of so they're sort of when they're tussling, the larger of the two, a male dressed in brown, he sort of has the other person in sort of a hold, and during this time, he produces a knife or a sharp implement, and then he stabs the other child, the other kid, and then the other kid runs from the bathroom screaming, and he tries to keep running, but he collapses in the hallway and does not continue moving, and it seems like he died very quickly. That is horrific video, and that should not be going around social media. Hey Penguin, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Yeah, this happened today in North Carolina, and yeah, that video, it's got a lot of likes, a lot of views. It has been blurred, but there are moments like you can see about halfway through the person in the brown is holding not a very large knife, probably about that big. It's not like a massive one or anything. And you can make all the jokes about my hands, and you could replace that with pineapple. But anyway, yeah, it's not a very long knife or a short thing. It's a serious topic. Let's see. And they sort of show this view like when they were tussling and the larger of the males had him in sort of a lock. They were over a urinal, and I'm not sure if this is blood or not. But when they pan away from the fight, when the injured party runs out of the bathroom, the urinal is red, like bright red, and I wonder if that is blood. And then the video ends with the group that won the fight leaving the bathroom. And then in the hallway of the school, there is the student who was injured, and he is non responsive on the floor. So, really, like that. It just happened like 20 seconds, and this student's life is gone. Why they have knives at school, I don't know. But that is awful. Yeah, that child's life snuffed out in seconds. Yeah, that's really horrible. I don't think we should play it on the channel. I think while it's not graphic, the audio is a little disconcerting. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. Let's have a look. It seems like at least yeah. Oh, yeah, it looks like while they're over the toilet, the knife attack happens, and the knife is plunged into the other person. Terrible, really is, really. Yeah, it is a high school. It is a high school. Yeah. Yeah, all 6 can carry a knife to school legally. That's not what this looks like. This looks like I don't want to name anyone. I'll just say 2 young men. I won't give like any race or anything. Just 2 young men, and they are in the bathroom of the high school. And like at first it looks like they're fighting, like they're throwing hands type thing. And then they end up getting in this like not a headlock, but sort of like a body grab, and they're sort of very close contact with both of them. And then it's blurred, so you can't fully tell. But it looks like a knife is produced, and the child is injured. That is very. I hope a lot of parents, if you have kids in North Carolina and you go to this particular school, that you keep your kids away from that video. They do not need to witness that. It is just awful. Let me check one other place. Okay, I could probably I could probably show you this. Hold on. Sorry, my voice is going. Let's go over here. So this is the body lock that I was telling you. I don't want to show too much more. This is not a video, it's a still frame. There's the weapon that I was telling you about. And I was saying at one point you can see the knife. This is when you can see it, when the hand is sort of down by the side. So, like I said, it's not a huge knife, like maybe like that big or something, that big. It's not massive, but enough to do some damage and kill someone. So yeah, they were sort of in this very close contact here, this sort of close contact body grab type thing. But yeah, I won't play the video itself. I don't think anyone needs to hear that. Chipmunk said, sadly, too many parents encourage that type of behavior. They believe the BS. Kathy said, I'm so glad my grands are homeschooled. Sally said, there was a shooting at Kentucky University in Frankfort, Kentucky today also. I did see that on the news earlier. Hold on. I have far too many tabs open. So I'm going to close a bunch. We've already opened over 50 tabs for this show. Hold on. Let me reduce this a little bit. All right, there we go. What was it? A shooting in what state? Frankfort, Kentucky. Let's have a look. Yeah, one student dead, one critically injured at KSU. I heard this was it last night or early this morning? One or the other, and there was an update saying that there was an active shooter at one point. Yeah, I'll take you out there and you can see the update.
A devastating day at a Kentucky university as students are getting ready for finals. Gunshots ring out, killing one student and leaving another in critical condition. We've been following this breaking news since it happened around 3:30 this afternoon at Kentucky State University in Frankfort. Police say they responded to calls about an active aggressor. That suspect was arrested minutes later. Frankfort police have identified him as Jacob Lee Bard of Evansville. He is not a current student at KSU. He is booked right now at the Franklin County Jail on murder and assault charges. Meanwhile, we're still waiting to learn more about the victims. Again, one student died and another is in critical condition.
So I came out in the lobby after everyone was like screaming and stuff. So we had our window open down here on Young and people running by screaming. I was in the lobby and saw some dude laying on the lobby floor. People like taking care of him. They carried him out eventually to an ambulance. Then we saw paramedics giving CPR to the kid who died, Whit, down there by the cop cars. And just, said a prayer in my head, sure everyone was fine. Just kind of stood there and watched in shock, really.
Kentucky State University says it's suspending all classes, final exams, and campus activities for the remainder of the week. School officials say students may return home if they want to for the holiday break, and counseling will be made available for anyone impacted by the shooting. We will continue to follow.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Tracy, Assistant Chief of Police at the Frankfort Police Statement, and then hand it over to Dr. Capo for State University. This afternoon at approximately 3:10 p.m., our Frankfort dispatch called reporting a shooting on the campus of Kentucky State University. Within minutes, by 3:14 p.m., Frankfort police officers arrived on scene. By that time, Kentucky State University campus police had already taken swift action, bringing a suspect into custody. 3 individuals were involved in the incident. One individual who is not a Kentucky State University student is in custody. Frankfort police believe this to be an isolated incident, and there are no active safety concerns on campus at this time. The other 2 individuals involved were current Kentucky State University students. Both suffered gunshot wounds. They were quickly transported to a local hospital for treatment by Frankfort Fire and EMS. Tragically, one has passed away from injuries. The other remains in critical condition. Our thoughts are with them, their families, and the entire Kentucky State University community, as well as the Frankfort community, as they navigate this difficult moment. I want to express my deepest appreciation for the quick, coordinated response between our officers and the Kentucky State University campus police. The department was also assisted by local, state, and federal agencies, Franklin County Sheriff's Office, the Kentucky State Police, Frankfort and Franklin County Emergency Management, Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, the ATF, Frankfort Fire and EMS. Their rapid actions ensured that the situation was contained almost immediately, preventing further harm. We understand how unsettling incidents like this can be for students, parents, and our community. But please know that the safety of our residents and our campus partners remains our top priority.
You know, listening to those last two stories about two different things that happened at learning facilities across the USA today, and the only thing I think about is I feel for the families. So close to Christmas, only a couple of weeks away now, and that is two children who will not make it home. That's two kids who won't make it home. No Christmas dinner with their family, no seeing their grandparents and that, and being that close to the holidays. That's what I think about. And you know, we all take it for granted that we're going to be there on Christmas Day, hanging out with relatives and that. And I'm sure these two people did too. And they won't be. They're gone. And that is a tragedy onto itself. Hey, Juicy Jules, how are you? Hey, Merry Xmas to you, my friend. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Really sad, really sad. How old was this person? So they're suspending all classes and final exams, campus activities for the remainder of the week, and they're saying students can go home if they want to. So that is a good idea. Do we have any information about the kid 35 minutes ago? Let's have a look. They're saying one student died from the shooting. Another student was in hospital in critical condition but is stable. The suspect who was taken into custody is not a student at the university. Police have identified the suspect as Jacob Lee Bard of Evansville, Indiana. Indiana? Why would he cross state lines to go to Kentucky? That's odd. It's really strange. Here, there's a photo of him. Here, I'll put it up. He's 40. The shooter was 48 years old. Jacob Lee Bard. They're saying here jail records show Bard had been arrested on preliminary charges of murder and first-degree assault. Two victims haven't been identified as of yet. Authorities didn't divulge his relationship to the victims or why he was on campus or what may have transpired in leading up to the shooting, which took place 175 miles from Evansville. Yeah, that's very strange. Why would he travel almost 200 miles to the campus? What or who did he know at the location? Yeah, I'm just trying to find anything else I can about the guy. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't tell me. Okay. It just says he's 48 years old and was from Indiana. Okay, it's very, very strange. How would he know his way around the university to find people? That's another thing I would like to know. Let's see. They're saying, yeah, so only got charged with murder and first-degree assault. He's currently in Franklin County Regional Jail. Oh, they're saying the governor, Andy Bashir, has released a statement following the shooting. All right, let's have a look what Andy Bashir has to say.
Good evening. Tonight, I wanted to send a message to our Kentucky State University students and their families, Frankfort area families, as well as the surrounding regions. Today, there was a shooting on the campus of Kentucky State University. 2 individuals were critically injured, and sadly, at least one of them, I don't think is going to make it. This was not a mass shooting or a random incident based on what I've been told, and the suspected shooter is already in custody. That means that while this was scary, there is no ongoing threat, and I believe our families are safe. But please pray. Pray for those that have been injured. Please pray for these Kentucky State University students that, again, might be rightfully scared. Pray for a world where these things don't happen, and I'll keep trying to build the Kentucky that we don't see arguments ended in violence. Thank you.
There you go, Governor of Kentucky. It says here, in accordance with Kansas law, individuals may lawfully carry concealed handguns on campus, subject to specific regulations and exemptions or exceptions. The open display of firearms is prohibited except for law enforcement. So apparently you can. Well, I mean, there you go, but I don't know if it has anything to do with this particular situation or not. Let's have a look. They're saying here, Frankfort Police and Kentucky State University will hold a press conference this evening at 7 p.m. Okay, let me see if I can see that press conference or not. They did hold a press conference. I'll play a little bit of it.
From the university arrived on scene. By that time, Kentucky State University campus police had already taken swift action, bringing a suspect into custody. 3 individuals were involved in the incident. 1 individual who is not a Kentucky State University student is in custody. Frankfort police believe this to be an isolated incident, and there are no active safety concerns on campus at this time. The other 2 individuals involved were current Kentucky State University students. Both suffered gunshot wounds. They were quickly transported to a local hospital for treatment by Frankfort Fire and EMS. Tragically, 1 has passed away from injuries. The other remains in critical condition. Our thoughts are with them, their families, and the entire Kentucky State University community, as well as the Frankfort community, as they navigate this difficult moment. I want to express my deepest appreciation for the quick, coordinated response between our officers and the Kentucky.
I only have one wish for Christmas, and it's that authorities and football teams across America can actually invest in some microphones and some audio equipment. The sound level coming out of bloody press conferences out of America, whether it be this type of thing or for football or something, it's awful. It's always so freaking low on the volume, and it's like you have 400 microphones up in front of you, and every time you release a live stream or a recording, the volume is terrible. By the way, the other one was for Kansas. This is Kentucky. Kentucky explicitly prohibits weapons of any type on campus. There you go. Sorry about that. I looked up the wrong KSU. Sally said, good grief, another press conference where they pull out all the men. They have all the people who will nod in front of you. Montana said the press conferences are even worse outside by traffic noise. Yeah, it's terrible. Chipmunk said, it amazes me, same thing in courtrooms with microphones. I actually have something to tell you about that. So, Ping spent a lot of time in courtrooms this year, and I learned something, an interesting fact, if you will. You know when people sit at the witness box and they give evidence and they have a thing and it looks like this and it's like a microphone? They're not microphones. They are not microphones as such. They don't amplify voice like a microphone does. They record voice, but they won't boost it at all. And you have to, it basically doesn't amplify any of the voice. So it's like you're talking. So if you talk very quiet, it would be very quiet. If you talk very loud, it would be very loud. There's no boosting and volume regulation or anything like that. It is literally just to record the plain voice without any interference to it. And yeah, I learned that. So those things that look like microphones, they're not really microphones as such. They always have to tell people in court, hey, can you speak louder? Because that is not a microphone. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, it's when they say the shooter is still at large, yeah. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, it's strange. I'll show you what I mean. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Yeah, these things like this, I'll show you. When you see them up at the thing with this type of thing, like it looks like a microphone, but apparently like they don't boost your voice at all, even on the recording. So if you're not yeah, they always have to tell people to speak up because it doesn't amplify at all. So yeah, there you go. So when you see them in court, they don't really work like the way you like this. This I can turn the volume up and down, make my voice louder. They don't do that with these things. They record in sort of like plain voice. So whatever the person is speaking, that is what it records as. It doesn't sort of modify like the levels or anything. Why it does that, I don't know. So maybe it's the same for police, maybe? I'm not sure, but it is really annoying when you turn on a press conference and they're like, hi everyone, we're at a press conference. I'm going to tell you today about the shooting that happened. Stick with me. We've got a lot of details coming up. It's like, all right, like you have 400 microphones from different media companies in front of you. Why can't you get good audio? Why can't you get good audio? Chimong says, buy a microphone, they make enough money from the court. Every trial I watch always has mic issues. Yeah, it's funny. It's yeah, it's I don't know why it's like that. It could be because something to do with the law and maybe the voice of the person has to be the way it is or something, like they can't modify it. So yeah, anyway, I'm guessing we're going to find out more about this guy from Evansville. Yeah, someone said in the chat, well, maybe it's a parent of someone. Okay. What would be the scenario that they would go to the university to shoot someone? Could it be their own child? Could that be it? They went all the way to university to hurt their own kid? Jacob Lee Bard. Let's have a look. Jacob Lee Bard. Trying to see if I can find any photos of him. Um, okay. Yeah, no photos of him, which is strange in this day and age with everyone's got a photo online. Can't find any sort of photographic evidence that he's a real person. I find that very odd. All right, 1 hour ago update. Yeah, 2 victims haven't been identified as of Tuesday night. Authorities didn't divulge the shooter, Jacob. His relationship has not been divulged about how he knows the victims, why he was on campus, or what may have transpired leading up to the shooting. That's all they're telling us right now. So I'm guessing by tomorrow morning, we're probably going to know. By tomorrow morning, we'll know why he was there, why he came all the way to the campus. Stepfather? Okay, we'll see. Sally said, I think Kathy had the right explanation. It had to do with a drug deal going wrong. Could be. I mean, it could be. All right, what else do we have? Okay. I want to take you back. I feel like we're doing a lot of things out of... I don't know if we can use this one. I want to do this story. Hold on. What company owns this? Okay. Oh, that's not how you do that.
Joining us at noon, I'm Kim Lead-Holt. WEAU has obtained the autopsy report of late Viterbo graduate student Elliot Hines, confirming the 22-year-old's death was an accidental drowning. Hines was reported missing on July 20th. Her body was found 3 days later in the Mississippi River near Brownsville, Minnesota. According to the autopsy report, medical staff believe Hines died via drowning and that her manner of death is accidental. They also noted there was no gross evidence of trauma. The lab results also showed a 0.193 alcohol level. That's more than twice the legal driving limit in Wisconsin.
So this person went missing earlier this year, July 23, and then they found her. Elliot Hines, 22, found dead in the Mississippi River near Brownsville, Minnesota. She had been reported missing 3 days earlier on July 20, and they're saying that, contrary to what people had been talking about, that this was some sort of murderer or someone had been maybe sexually assaulted her, that it wasn't. Her cause of death is accidental drowning, and that there was alcohol in her system, 0.193, more than twice the legal driving limit in the area. So she was quite inebriated at the time. This is her right here, and it took a long time for that toxicology to come back. But yeah, found about 6 months ago. I want to see if we can go back to where, when she went missing. All right, I'm going to take you to Fox News just very briefly, back when she went missing.
The search for 22-year-old graduate student Elliot Hines is entering its third day this morning after she disappeared shortly before 3:30 in the morning on Sunday in in La Crosse, Wisconsin. This is the last image of her before she went missing. She was walking near the city's waterfront almost an hour after leaving a downtown bar, and now her family is appealing to the public to help find her. Joining us now is Elliot's mother, Amber Hines. Amber, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Amber, tell us what happened. What do you know?
So we know that she was out with friends and she was trying to go home and she did not make it. Someone found her phone, thankfully, and we were able to contact the police department right away. And we've just been looking ever since. So that's about all we know right now. We're being updated when we can, and we just need to find her.
So why did she separate from her friends? Was she walking in a different direction?
I honestly, I can't tell you. We don't know. We don't have any of those answers.
Well, it wasn't too long after that they ended up finding her body in the river, but it was a somewhat of a mystery until now to how she died, and now it has been confirmed that it was an accidental drowning, negative for drugs in her system, but was positive for that alcohol that she had been drinking on the day that she died, and that it just seems like a accidental death. They're saying here her smartwatch recorded her last steps at 4:30 a.m. in the morning and a final heart rate at 7:30 a.m. on July 20. They're saying she was last seen walking in the 500 block around 3:20 a.m. after leaving a bar. Wow, so if she fell into the water not long after then, her heart was still beating until 4 hours later after being in the water. That's a long time for her heart rate to still be going. If someone could have found her, if she could have been pulled out of the water, it's possible she could have lived. Um, I'm guessing her body would have shut down due to the hypothermia. Wait, it was summer though, not winter. What would the temperature of the water be at that time of year? Hold on, let me have a look. Is it possible she could have lived? What is the river? What's the river called? Let me see if I can find it. It is the, what river is this? Oh, it's the Mississippi River. Okay. Mississippi River in this area in summer. Okay. Uh, so apparently the daytime temperature can be something like in the high 60s to the low 70s at nighttime in the summertime in this area that she fell in the water, which would explain why her heart rate was still going until about 7:30 in the morning when that fitness watch recorded final heartbeats for her. I reckon she could have lived. If someone could have found her, her risk of hypothermia would actually be quite low because it's not like in winter, the risk of hypothermia after about 15, 20 minutes is quite high, and that you could possibly die very quickly within an hour. But the fact that her heartbeat was still going until the morning tells me that she became unconscious some other way in that water. It's possible. It's very possible. Had someone noticed her, had someone being able to find her, she could have lived. Yeah. I'm just looking up the temperature guide for the upper Mississippi weather earlier this year. Yeah, it definitely looks like that those temperatures were high enough to sustain a person's heart rate. So that's really sad. It's sad to me that no one noticed her go in. And if she jumped in around 3:30, for at least an hour, she was trying to get out of the water. So they saying they recorded her last steps around 4:30 a.m. It sounds like she may have been like struggling in the water, meaning her smartwatch would have recorded the activity. And then final heart rate at 7:30 a.m. That must be very hard for the family to come to grips with. That had someone just seen her or noticed her in the water, that that she could have been saved. The one where his mom and dad were arrested too. Whatever happened to the young guy who killed the pregnant woman and her boyfriend during the drug deal? Oh, the one in Texas? The one in Texas last year? I'm pretty sure that went to trial earlier this year. Hold on. Yeah, Savannah Soto and her boyfriend Matthew Guerrera. I'm pretty sure that went to trial. Let me double check. Uh, Chris. Yeah, I'm going to take you to KSAT. This was the latest update about a month ago in that particular case.
There was a significant appearance in court today. That man on the right side of the screen is Christopher Preciado. He's the 21-year-old man accused of shooting and killing Matthew Guerra and Savannah Soto back in December of 2023. His parents, Ramon Preciado and Myrto Romanos, were also arrested after allegedly helping Preciado hide the bodies of Guerra and Soto. Today's court appearance was Preciado's first since his arrest. A number of trial dates were floated, but so far no solid date has been set at this time.
We start with breaking news about that pregnant mom and her boyfriend that were murdered in 2023. Now one of 3 suspects accused in connection with the crime has had her charges dismissed.
Well, our Erica Hernandez is following these developments. And Erica, we thought the jury selection was going to happen today. What led to this change?
Stephanie and Courtney, simply put, the state was not ready to take this case to trial. Today, again, they asked for another reset. When it was denied, they dismissed all 3 charges against Mita Romanos. Now, Romanos was accused of helping her son, Christopher Preciado, cover up the murders of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child back in December 2023. If you remember, this case got a lot of media attention and online attention after Savannah didn't show up to an appointment to be induced as she was reported missing. She was later found fatally shot alongside her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra. The state yesterday asked for a reset in the case because a gun involved had not been submitted for testing yet. The judge denied and said jury was to be picked. Again, the state asked for a continuance this morning. Again, it was denied. They then gave the judge a dismissal paperwork to sign. Here's what Romanos' defense attorney had to say after this all happened.
We were ready for trial. She's been in jail 2 years already. So we asked for our trial, and today at the trial setting, her cases were all dismissed.
So what does that mean? Does she get to go out of jail? She's a free woman?
Her cases were all dismissed. There's nothing else holding her.
Interesting. So the mom, who we thought when it happened had been complicit in trying to cover up these murders and help her son, had her charges dropped at the last minute when the prosecution couldn't proceed with trial. Why they couldn't, I don't know. But they're saying here the trial begins for the parents of San Antonio man accused of killing pregnant teenager Savannah Soto and her boyfriend in December of 2023, hours before Soto was set to give birth. Yeah, I remember this when it happened. We did a lot on it at the time. Was charged with capital. Yeah, there's a photo of the three that were in jail. There's the son, the dad, and the mom. And I remember we played the video back in the day when they were perp walked in to be charged. We played that video. Parents are charged. Yeah. Christopher, the son, was charged with capital murder, multiple persons, capital murder, child under 10, and capital murder, underlying body. Parents are charged with multiple counts of altering, destroying, or concealing human remains, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. So I remember when we had that video, let me see. There was like a really damning CCTV video. I wonder if we can find it because I have not watched it in years. Might have been this one.
This vehicle, I'm sorry, this video right here, the very beginning, Judge, there was a lot of ring camera footage of Manos getting out of the vehicle back at her own address after.
No, that was from trial. That wasn't the right one. Savannah. No, it might have been. Where's the surveillance footage? Here.
Now at 6, San Antonio police need your help identifying 2 persons of interest in the deaths of a pregnant woman and her boyfriend. Police Chief William McManus released new surveillance video at a news conference this afternoon. The video shows one person in a dark-colored pickup truck. The chief said it was a Chevy Silverado. The other was driving the victim's car. The 2 are seen meeting near where the victims were discovered. Now, this all comes as family and friends held a vigil tonight for 18-year-old Savannah Soto and her unborn child. We'll hear from the victim's grandmother who spoke with our Megan Reina. But first, we want to get to the latest information on this capital murder case with KENS 5's Zach Briggs. Zach?
And San Antonio Police Chief William McManus says this footage was taken just days before Savannah Soto and boyfriend Matthew Guerra were found dead at a medical center apartment complex. The surveillance footage also taken near the crime scene. Take a look. The footage shows 2 vehicles pull up next to each other. One individual you can see comes out of the dark-colored pickup, approaching the silver Kia Optima, which McManus says belonged to Guerra. You can see one person pop out of the Kia briefly, then the pickup driver returns to his vehicle, then taking off. McManus says detectives are hopeful the surveillance video will help detectives connect the dots on the investigation to figure out what exactly led up to the deaths of Soto and Guerra. Police are.
Yeah, I remember that being a big turning point for this particular case. Well, I'm glad to know it's heading to trial, but without the mum being charged, just the father and the son are the 2 that will go forward now. They're saying here. Yeah, let me have a look. Raman Pricado. Let's have a look. So apparently the mom left jail after her charges were dropped. And what happened here? Seems like there's been a lot of trial updates since it all happened. I'm just trying to see what the latest is. Let's have a look. Past month. No, that's not it. Let's have a look. Yeah, just about a month ago, the mom's case was dismissed. Let's have a look. Family of Savannah filed $1 million. So apparently the family of Savannah and Matthew filed a $1 million lawsuit against the people who are alleged to have killed them. Judge denies bond reduction for stepmother. So it seems like it's still working its way through the court. It seems like we could be still a while away from anything happening. At least there's been some movement in it. Mom was held in jail for almost like 2 years. And it's very strange that at the last minute, the cops were just like, nah, we don't want to go ahead with it. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. You can see she was released from jail in November of this year. I can't tell you why. Oh, okay. So apparently they don't have a prosecutor to be able to go ahead to trial. They're saying the only prior prosecutor who is prepared to try this case is Austin Stout. He no longer works entirely for this office. So they don't have a prosecutor, and that's why they asked for a continuance, and it was denied by the judge, saying the family member's health is declining, and that they need to go to trial now to determine their fate. And when the prosecutors couldn't come up with anything, they had to drop the charges because they basically they didn't have anyone that could prosecute the case. Weird. Very strange. You would think after 2 years they would have a prosecutor that was up to speed, had been working on the case, and could go to trial at any day. But it seems very sloppy from the DA's office. Very strange. I've never seen that before. That is odd. All because they didn't have a prosecutor. So I read about this a while ago. In Texas, there is a shortage of DA staff, like people who work for the defense. I mean, the public prosecution's office. There's a shortage, and they don't have enough people to prosecute the cases through the courts. And it's been leading to a backlog of murder cases in Texas. Apparently, there is some cases that have been held up almost half a decade or more because they just don't have people to work on them. So apparently, it's a big problem in Texas. But I've never seen it actually play out in a high-profile case like this one. That's very strange.
As a judge dismissing all of the charges against murder Romanos in connection with the murders of Savannah Soto, Matthew Guerra, and their unborn child.
News 4 San Antonio's Destiny Fuller joins us now with more on why the charges were dropped.
Mandy, Jonathan, the district attorney's office confirming Murder Romanos' case has been dismissed, telling me they couldn't give further comment because the related cases are still pending. While Romanos is out of jail tonight, it doesn't mean she's in the clear. Murder Romanos walking out of the Bexar County jail today after spending nearly 2 years in custody. The 49-year-old accused of helping her stepson, Christopher Preciado, hide evidence after he allegedly shot and killed Savannah Soto, her boyfriend Matthew Guerra, and their unborn baby Fabian back in 2023.
I'm happy for her. I mean, she's waited a long time. As you know, she's been in jail on very, very high bonds for a very long time.
Romanos freed after one of the lead prosecutors asked for a continuance in the case to care for a sick family member, saying there's no one else to try the case.
The only prior prosecutor who was prepared on this case was Austin Stout. He no longer works entirely for this office because of the voluminous evidence in this case and the tremendous relationships that have been built in preparing for it, that this court's discretion would be upheld.
Judge Jennifer Pena denying the request, instead dropping the charges against Romanos. Back in April, Matthew and Savannah's family stood outside the Bexar County courthouse, calling for Preciado to get the death penalty.
They don't deserve to just get a slap on the wrist. I'm not trying to be ugly, but we're hurting. And I mean, like I said, we'll never be the same.
Though they weren't available to do an interview tonight.
I wonder whether they can refile at a later date. It's interesting. The judge was right in the fact that you can't just keep people locked up without giving them their fair judicial process. So the only thing they could do if the state wasn't ready to move forward with trial was to drop her charges. But I wonder if they could refile it at a later time. I would suspect yes. I would suspect they probably can. But that's just awful. How do you only have one prosecutor who knows the case? How is there only one or one and a half people that on such a high profile case too? The Soto and Guerrero cases are like they're really well known, high profile in the area, and the fact that you had basically no one to prosecute it is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There you go. There you go. Hey, thanks to these guys. Danny Mitchell, I appreciate it. Carolina, thank you very much. Penguin, I appreciate it as well. And to we had some other people. To Sean, and the other person was Permaculture Kiwi. Permaculture Kiwi, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you all. See what would happen. I would like to do these long shows every day. Go to this time, start at like 12:30 and go to like 3:30. But we have another show in the middle that has to be done each night. So it's just the way things work. All right. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Bye.